I gotta adjust this thing. The mask is gonna really mess up any comedic timing that I ever had, just so you guys know. And I can't even tell if you're laughing at that. So, hey, I'm Larry, and I'm the Director of Neighborhood Outreach here at Liberty. And I want to tell you something that, this is gonna be a bit of a long announcement, but just bear with me here. This is something really exciting and good that we can be part of. So earlier in April, when everything kind of hit and lockdowns first happened and a lot of people were really struggling, and we opened a food pantry and started running that, and we were doing 600 meals a week at that time. We chose as a church, the elders voted to give away, to put half of April's giving into a coronavirus relief fund, okay? Since then, we've been able to help a lot of people with about half of that money. Half that fund is still there. We decided to go ahead and do that again in December. So in December, half of all giving is going to go to replenish this fund. So there have been a couple questions about why are we replenishing a fund that's not empty yet? And so I want to explain that, and then we'll talk a little more about something else. So the reason why we're replenishing a fund that's not empty yet is that the more time I spend in different groups of people, the more I see that like the way lockdowns are hitting and the way shutdowns are hitting affect different socioeconomic groups differently. And so just look at it this way, those who were like barely on the bubble before were kind of bumped off the bubble the first time around. So then the need is something very immediate like food, but it's a lot of people who are already really poor. Right? This second round of shutdowns is really affecting like working class and working poor folks. And so in the last couple weeks, we spent a lot of time as a diaconate, and I have, and our care team has, with a lot of people who had jobs and who were kind of just barely making it, and now they're on the brink of losing everything, okay? And so our church, I think we've kind of either really clearly or beat around the bush pointed out that we're maybe a socioeconomically different than a lot of the people in our neighborhood, right? And so in a lot of ways, if you are someone whose job and your income hasn't been devastated by this, praise the Lord, that's wonderful, but now the burden is on us, I believe as a local church, to leverage those resources and what we have on behalf of those around us, right? So if we know that people in our community that we say this is our community have need, and we just say, like, I hope that really works out for you, and we don't do anything, we don't love our neighbor, you know? And so there's a lot of folks in the last 2 weeks who we have not had a lot of connection with our church in the past, other than maybe knowing me or knowing some of our deacons who we've helped with rent. We've had a couple sisters who are raising some kids alone that we've helped them pay their rent. We've had some people reach out with needing to go to rehab. Because let's not forget, before all this happened, there was like a crazy opioid crisis that's only gotten worse. And so there's a lot of things that we can use this resource for, and there's a lot of things that are like directly downstream from shutdowns and being in your house for months and months, right? So with this, we can pay for people's rent, we can help people with utilities, we can definitely help with food, we can pay for counseling, we can help people with a lot of things. And another reason why we haven't gone through all the money first is we're not trying to like blow through this for the fun of it. So if there's a government agency or a neighborhood organization, we're pointing them that way first before they come to us. But you know, this is just a personal note. You know, Mandy and I, when we were first married and we first had kids, we were super poor, and we went through the experience of like having to get on food stamps and get government assistance, and at times it can be like just terribly dehumanizing. You know, there's like, oh, so you need food stamps, so I assume you abuse your children. You know, it was sometimes a vibe. And so we get to be a place where people go get help that is not filled with judgment, that we're not determining whether they're a good person because they have need, you know? And so this is a way for us to live out the gospel and show that what we believe is true, you know? And so if you need help, feel free to reach out. That's my email. Reach out to me if you need help. With this, I want to say one more thing. The bottleneck of what we're able to do as a church is volunteers, okay? So we have lots of people helping out with the food pantry, but more and more, we're trying to help people find jobs is a big one. We're trying to help people find resources. And the more people call in, the more that our care team is burdened by this. And so it's a great burden to have, but we need more people. If you find yourself at home with some free time and you'd be willing to take a phone call or help our deacons, I don't want to throw out all of our deacons' information right now. They might kill me for that. But if you want to help, reach out and email me as well. This is just one more thing I'd like to say, and then I'll move away. But I really think this is a chance. I know we're all like trying really hard to stay in our houses and not talk to anyone. There's wisdom in that, but I also think if you don't know your block very well, this is a really good chance to just literally go door to door and let people know on your block that this is a resource that's available to them. Okay. So that's a challenge to you guys. If you would just be willing to just go meet your neighbors, let them know that this is a resource. Okay. So if you have any questions, anything, if you need help, if you want to serve, whatever, then email me or talk to me. I'll be here for the next 2 services. So, all right. So all of December, half of everything you give goes directly to this relief fund. All right. We good? Everybody has to nod or something. I can't see smiles or anything. We got to do a lot of, there we go, a lot of body language. All right, thank you guys. Love you all.